I'm here with Pestilence and Obscura bassist Jeroen Paul at the evening of a concert, so you'll be on stage in about an hour, I guess?
Yeah, I think so, around an hour.
So, well, most people will know you as the fretless metal bass player, or at least, I mean, you're one of the few
Probably.
bass players in metal who play the fretless bass. Why?
Why fretless bass attracted me? When I was active in flamenco music, I joined a flamenco ensemble, and I started with fretted bass. But actually, in that project, I felt like this is the right time to pick up a fretless bass. I always loved the sound character of a fretless. And in fact, yeah, that was a good timing, picking it up there. In flamenco music, bass guitar has also a melodic role, and it came out really good there. You know, it was the right setting for a fretless bass.
Yeah.
So I think that was 2002, 2003, and I got really addicted to the instrument, and it's mainly like since then it's 99% of what I play is fretless.
Was it the sound or the feel or the freedom that you get from not being bound to frets?
Yeah, it's the sound, but also the freedom. Good question. Right before I joined that flamenco ensemble, I have been studying microtonality, which means you make smaller steps, in an octave. Like we in the Western world, we use this 12-step octave semitones, and I did some experiments with dividing the octaves in 24 steps, in the end in 72 steps, like a kind of extreme puzzle on my bass. But then of course you can do several tone systems on one instrument.
Yeah.
You have so many small steps, but in the end you figure out that with a fretless bass you have all the freedom. You're not bound anymore to those frets.
Well, your two main bands, or your two bands at this point, Obscura and Pestilence, have a very different sound.
True.
Do you feel that you have a different role in those bands? Like one is more supporting, maybe one is more solo type?
Yeah, it's different. They're first, the bands are very different. The music style is different. With Obscura, what I do is more like there's maybe more freedom for arrangements in a way that you go loose from the guitar. Pestilence is different. Maybe it sounds more basic, but it's still sometimes quite complex to play. But it's just a very different style. And the good thing is that for both bands you can do something very different. The playing style is not so. It's not very different. It's still, I'm trying, of course I keep my signature. It's not that I can turn myself into a very different bass player. It's not like that, but it's the same instruments, although I have a few Warwicks with different types of woods, so they sound different. But with Pestilence, this time I decided to use a F-sharp string lower, because both guitarists play with 8-string guitars, which means they go really low.
Almost into the bass territory.
Well, in fact, they go into
the bass.
Yeah, and first instance, we thought about a concept for the album to have the guitars really low riffing, and to maybe we thought about the idea to have the bass guitar more sometimes higher than the guitars, but we have tried a few days in the studio, and in the end we found out that it would be better to go lower than the guitars. So for that reason,
in true metal sense.
Yeah, it sounds really brutal, and I think it's also a great challenge, to combine the very low registers.
Yeah,
it's like
in a way that's still musical.
Yes, because of course it's not the first time that people use a F-sharp string on a bass guitar. I mean, there's a few bass players who do that, but mostly you see them with a pick and with a distorted bass sound. You know,
Yeah.
this turned out very different. Plus, I also play a lot of high stuff, slides, and I still use my high C string on that bass.
What's in the immediate future for you? Any new albums coming up? Recording being done?
Yes, I've been quite busy last month, recording 3 albums in a row.
Wow.
First, Obscura, the second album with this lineup, which took a lot of time and energy. Then right away after that recording, I worked with Magen, which is a new Dutch band, founded by Mark Jansen of Epica. That is different music. That's gothic metal. That's a different role for the bass, but very nice to do. Also, try to put my signature, my stamp on that production. Right after that recording, Magen, I went again back to Germany to record the new album with Bassist.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were already busy for 1 week, and I joined them after 1 week, and everything was already recorded, vocals, guitars, drums. I was amazed. Super heavy production, like super heavy songs. It turned out so really well with the 8-string guitars, and that was a tough job to find a way to get that bass in
find room, basically.
Yeah, to find room to not the room for my arrangement, but also more the room that it would sound better, because if you stick in that same, riffing and tones, it doesn't come out. I mean, it's not like following the guitarist. It's very, if you do that an octave lower, but if it's the same notes, it's so. In the end, I decided to work with a F sharp string.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Yeah,
turned out well. I would like to thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good luck tonight, and good luck with the new albums, the tours all together, and we'll see you hopefully a lot in 2011.
We are going to work on it. Okay, thanks for having me.